Hello, this is Rusty Walker with Walker's Ventures, your boat biz guru. Hi and welcome. Today we are continuing our training for sales managers, and topic for today is um, sales meetings. Nobody likes meetings. I think if you were to ask whether it was salespeople, managers, or anyone else, if they liked meetings, most of the responses, yuck. But they are necessary. And I certainly believe in them because when else are we going to have the opportunity to get all your salespeople around, your other managers, your finance people, and what have you together to be able to share the information that needs to be shared? So there were two or three things that pretty much have to happen, and a couple of things that you can't let happen in a sales meeting. And that's what we're going to go over today is kind of the do's and the don'ts. There's a couple of things that are imperative. And the first and most, not most important, but certainly very, very important is you got to start the meeting on time. Too many interruptions, people coming in when they want to, whether it's 1 minute late or 5 minutes late. Uh, Punctuality actually has a lot of positive effects, even though they may not like it in the beginning. But it's just required. We have to start on time so that we can get our information across so that we're in and out of there as quickly as possible. We don't want to take up the other people. We've shown up on time. It's disrespectful for someone to be late and then cause us to have to stop what we're doing and go back to the beginning for everyone else's benefit or for those personal persons' benefit. So if you were to ask managers around you why meetings don't start on time, which is the first thing we got to do is start them on time, what do you think the reasons would be? We would get all kinds of reasons. The salesperson car didn't start, or they had a problem at home with their wives, or just a plethora of answers or reasons why the meeting doesn't start on time. And the main thing is actually there's only one reason a meeting doesn't start on time. And I was told this years and years ago, and I kind of did one of those talk on it. But there's only one reason a meeting doesn't start on time, and it's because you don't start it on time. Period. That's it. If you started it on time, that's when it would start. I was fortunate enough in my store for many, many years to actually have a staircase that you walked upstairs. We had our meeting room up there. And downstairs, before the staircase, was a door, and I could lock the door. Oh, so if the meeting was at 8 o'clock, at 8 o'clock, I locked the door. Well, you're thinking, well, of course, then they missed the meeting. You're thinking, well, what's wrong with that? Well, the penalty for missing the meeting was you couldn't see a customer that day. And like I said, we did ours on Saturday, which was the biggest selling day. I couldn't stop what I was going to do in my meetings on a Saturday with all the things we had going on for somebody just wandering in for whatever those reasons were. They needed to understand that we're going to start this on time. We've got things to cover, and it's just the way it's going to be. So it didn't mean that the salesperson could leave for the day. They had to stay, make their phone calls. If they could get an appointment, great. But they could not take any fresh customers or take any fresh ups. So I didn't have the problem of punctuality after the first couple. Had to enforce the first one or two, whether they would try you or it was legit reasons. But you just can't have it. And that was one of the ways that we did it. I don't care what you have to do to enforce it, but the reason a meeting doesn't start on time is because you didn't start it on time. You can't point the fingers at anyone else. So that's number one. And that was a big lesson for me many years ago because it set the stage for the rest of the meeting. Um, a couple of other things, items that a meeting should include. Number one is information. We should be have a bit, maybe 5 or 10 minutes of the meeting on information, whether that's the boats that have been moved onto the hit list, specialty boats, or maybe boats that we've traded in this past week that may or not be out on the lot yet, that we want to make sure everyone knows, so that if we get a customer, we can take it and take them and show them the boat. Whatever information we had that would help the sales guys or girls, and share whatever information that made sense, notes that we would take throughout the week to share that information. Okay. It should take about 10 minutes at the most. There shouldn't be much more than that. And by the way, a sales meeting shouldn't last more than 30 minutes. It shouldn't be any longer than that. If it's a little bit shorter, that's okay. We've got only a couple things we've got to go over. Let's make sure we touch them and get on with it. Okay, because we're going to lose them after 20 minutes anyway, right? When they're not going to hear a word we're saying. So once we go over the information, kind of give them an update of what boats are on our hit list, any may that have moved that we chatted about. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about a process, at least one of them. Guys, make sure today, because we might get a little busy, make sure that you slow down, that you take your time with the customer. I'm always here and available if you need a TO or turnover or someone to get involved in your deal earlier. Again, anything that we might be able to do from a process standpoint, things that we've noticed we're slacking a little bit in. And that might be getting to the worksheet stage before we're doing a good selection. Whether it's getting to the inventory too quick. There's lots of steps to the sale. And we can take 4 or 5 minutes and just put some reminders. Hey, it's going to be a little busier today, or keep in mind, that our processes need to stay the same. We need to do a great interview, meet and greet. We need to do a great interview. We need to help with that selection. And then if the terms are agreeable, we need to ask the customer if this is the boat he wants to buy, right? We need to keep all that in mind. Don't get all squirrely on me out there. And we're just going to kind of just give them a little pep talk and, tell them to keep it between the ditches, because that's kind of what our job is. A manager's and a coach's job is to keep the team here, okay? Not too high, not too low. And that's what we want to do. We want to coach them up, and we want to keep them between the ditches, as I like to say. So the sales meeting, you have to start it on time, requires punctuality. You need to make sure you share information. Pick out the 3 or 4 or 5 or 8 or 10 boats that are your specials, so that they're all very aware of them. Make sure they have an inventory report handy that they can get out and look at, and you can share that information. They can see and highlight those boats that they need to put some emphasis on, just like we were talking about in previous meetings. This is the time to share that. Okay. You'll notice that it's got the red star on the sticker. We went out and put them on each of the boats. Okay. So that's pretty much all that you've pretty much killed your 30 minutes by then. And you're going to end the meeting with whatever spiffs you're going to put on for the day, right? Whether it's your hit list boats, as we call them. Hey, there's an extra $500 for these 5 boats. Any boats, or the first boat today is an extra $1,000 or $500. Who cares? We want to get them fired up. The first boat of the day and the last boat of the day, it doesn't matter. Give them a reason to push a little. That's all they're looking for. Okay. So they love spiffs. We love that. Okay. A little extra cash goes a long ways. It really does. So make sure your team is there. They're on time. They're ready to play. They look good. They're sharp. Their shirts are I was always make sure they were ironed. And here I am looking at the wrinkles. That just bothers me. But anyway, make sure your team is ready to go, right? And do that once a week. They'll expect it. You get them in and get them out. Don't drag those meetings for a long time. Don't get up there and preach to them. And another no to keep out of it is don't beat up on them. It ain't the time. You can explain things, but don't beat up on them. And for goodness sakes, don't beat up on any individuals. It's not the time. If you have a situation with an individual or something that happened during the week or something along those lines, the meeting is not the place. That's a one-on-one situation in your office. Okay? So that's what we're looking to do when it comes to sales meetings. And thanks for listening. My name is Rusty Walker, your Boat Biz Guru, and have a great day.